I always feel like there's this weird moment at the beginning where we're just like checking if everything is working.
Looks like, yeah. Alrighty. Let me make sure that we're live. If you guys can hear and see us, please post in the chat. Okay. All right. Where's everyone watching from? Where is everyone watching from? Post in the chat. Where's everyone watching from? Let's see, I see YouTube. I don't see LinkedIn yet. Nigeria. Birmingham. Okay.
Donnelly. I feel like we've seen each other before here on the chat.
That's a familiar name.
Sure
Charlotte,
is.
North Carolina. Nobody from Texas? That's a surprise.
Nobody from Wisconsin today?
Toronto is in the building. All right, we got some LinkedIn. From home, absolutely. Australia.
Okay. Australia. What time is it in Australia?
Good question. Have you ever been to Australia?
I have not. Have you?
No.
Oh, it's just like, I feel like the animals are so scary there. You know, the kangaroos and the spiders. Like, I don't know. It's just so far away.
Yeah. I think the animals are scary here. Like alligators or whatever they are. Like, I don't know. I don't know the difference between the two. They both look the same to me. But
yeah. And I feel like, you know, kangaroos, like I feel like they're portrayed as being so nice and cuddly. But if you see kangaroo videos, my God, those things are brutal.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of them look like they like bodybuild. Like sometimes I always thought those were like fake.
Yeah.
But...
Nope.
All right, 9 a.m. Oh, that's pretty nice.
Oh, good. Thanks for tuning in, early bird. Well, I guess it's not like super early, but
there's ducks here that look like turkeys. I'm not really sure what the breed of ducks are here, but they look like turkeys.
I'm gonna need you to share a picture of those ducks with me at some point.
Oh, I will do that.
Yeah. I shared my crocodiles.
Oh yeah, you risked your life to send me a picture.
They were behind a fence.
Okay.
You didn't see the fence because I put my camera right up to the fence, but
okay.
There was a fence there.
All right. Okay, you're 5 minutes in. Let's get started. We're here for some roasting of some LinkedIn profiles. The Canadian geese used to chase us all the time.
Man,
what are Canadian geese doing in Missouri?
Migratory bird.
Oh, okay.
I feel like we had those in Wisconsin too, which makes sense because Wisconsin's
right there,
like above Missouri, but below Canada. Fly through there.
They migrated. Okay. Okay, we're 6 minutes in. Let's get started. People are here for roasting of some LinkedIn profiles. We should start with some roasting of LinkedIn profiles.
Right. I think that's a good idea. And so we've got 3. I want to say we've got 3 profiles in the pipeline here. So if there's anybody else who feels like they're in need of a roast, what are we doing about that, Kadisha?
Super chat. And it all goes to Emily.
Super chat to Kadisha. That does not work in my on my LinkedIn account just yet. So head over to Kadisha's channel if you or on LinkedIn too, or no, it has to be on your channel, right? On
Link.
Kadisha's channel, on her YouTube channel, and then we will roast you as well.
Yeah, there's no super chats on LinkedIn.
Right.
There's
Forgot
nothing on
about that.
LinkedIn. LinkedIn needs to bring back I forgot what they were called. They were like the stuff that they have on X. I forgot what they're called. It's like you can do like a live audio event.
Oh yeah.
They need to bring that back. Like,
You can do a live video event now.
yeah, but like the live audio ones were like, I don't know. They were more casual. They were more like it was like you can bring other people on to like discuss, you know? It's like
Yeah.
yeah, it was really cool.
All right. All right. So if you guys want to get roasted, you know what to do. And we're just going to get started. I don't know. Should we have a little brief chat to kind of prefix and, talk about what it is that we're trying to accomplish overall with our LinkedIn profiles?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I feel like that can be helpful sometimes. So what about from your perspective, Kadisha? What are your thoughts on LinkedIn profile and how to use them?
Okay, well, today when it comes down to applying for a job or just a job market in general, um, the LinkedIn profile it has to be part of the equation. So if I think about like the success equation, and success is landing an interview or landing a job, LinkedIn is a variable. Now there's plenty of variables that we don't control, but LinkedIn is one of those that we can control. And the thing is, recruiters headhunt on LinkedIn, jobs are posted on LinkedIn. I know for a fact whenever you apply, there will be people who check your profile on LinkedIn, whether they ask for your profile or not. It's just a copy and paste to search away, and they will look you up even
Yeah.
before bringing you on. So when it comes down to LinkedIn, it's like a first impression almost before they even give you a ring, before they invite you to the interview. But it's like the idea that we think about, after we like send our application, we think about ATS, but no one thinks about who would actually look at our profile. So that's like one instance. But then there's another instance of like networking. You can't be talking to people, knocking on folks' doors, sending DMs to ask for a chat when you don't have a profile photo. You look like a bot. Like, come on. Again, I always say if someone knocked on your door right now with a mask, all in black, are you going to answer the door? No.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And like, I really like your kind of data-driven approach to the use of the LinkedIn profile, because yeah, there are a lot of different things that happen there. And, you mentioned bots as well. Like today, there are bots on LinkedIn, and there are bots that are out there in the world just sending applications to all these different companies, and the candidates don't even know that these applications are going out, and they have no connection to the job whatsoever. So for that reason, the recruiters who have to manually review your resume, if I were sitting in the recruiter's chair today, I would be always, always clicking on that LinkedIn profile, because you can send out a million different variations of your resume saying that you're an astronaut, that you're a baker, that you're a farmer, that you're a product manager at Google, but you only have one LinkedIn profile. So that's a lot harder to fake in that regard than just a resume. So if I were doing that today, I would always be clicking into the LinkedIn profile. So verification, and also, and I talked about this on my podcast that I published on Sunday. You always, like you said, Kadisha, you're doing outreach and being findable, chatting with people and making sure that recruiters are able to find you. How are they doing that? They're looking for keywords, right? So there are a lot of like different parts of LinkedIn. One of those parts is your profile. This is what we most commonly are aware of. Everybody who's on LinkedIn has their LinkedIn profile. And then there are different tools that people pay for to use within LinkedIn. One of them is Sales Navigator if you're looking to sell and make business connections for sales purposes. And then another one is LinkedIn Recruiter. So when I was working as a recruiter for Wayfair, I had a LinkedIn Recruiter account, And I had a special way to go into a different interface of LinkedIn and filter for a lot more categories and fields than you can filter with if you just have a profile, even if you just have LinkedIn Premium. So, for example, I could filter very specifically by, I could filter for words in the headline. I could filter specifically for skills in the skills section down here. I could filter for current company, past company, age, years of experience. General search of all, of the entire text of a LinkedIn profile. So if you want to be findable, number one, align your profile to the jobs that you want overall. Of course, we're doing this individually with the resumes, but we got to make sure that we're appealing to a slightly broader audience when it comes to LinkedIn. And just make sure that the keywords that they're searching for appear on your LinkedIn profile. You do that, you're setting yourself up for success. So that being said, I mean, some of the top keywords that I was searching for, like I wanted people who knew SQL. So, I would do something and I would go into that field on LinkedIn Recruiter, and I would just search for SQL. And then I could additionally filter for location. I was located in Berlin at the time, in Germany, so I could filter for Berlin to see if who knows SQL in my local area. Maybe some other tools are important to you, like Tableau or Power BI, and those are the main tools that you use on the job there. So, I could be able to filter for those too, and maybe some maybe slightly less obvious tools. Search keywords would be something like e-commerce or furniture. So it's not like I don't want to just have like a list of keywords. I don't want to just optimize specifically for, like, let's say, AI or bots to be able to find you. Like, I want this to be interesting for a human as well. And humans are creative with the way that they search. And when I was working for Wayfair, furniture was a thing. So that was something that I would search for to see who has a connection using that keyword. So that being said, Melvin, I hope that you're watching. We are about to roast you, my friend. And I have to say that I am super excited to roast Melvin, because not only did he just recently repost my video about LinkedIn, thank you, Melvin, but also he's taken some time to like go back and rework his experience here. So I'm going to start up at the top by having a look at Melvin, his photo and his banner. I really like that he has these icons really big and bold here on his banner. That first icon, is that PowerPoint?
Yeah, it's PowerPoint.
PowerPoint. I would say, PowerPoint, I think that's good. I feel like it's less important than all the other ones. You want to be a data analyst? Yeah, of course, PowerPoint, but like, man, SQL is super important. Tableau, Python, awesome. So I'd be like really emphasizing those. And another thing that I like about Melvin's picture is that he has a very approachable look on his face. He's smiling at the camera. And I think it's nice that he used the same kind of branding color in the background of his picture and of his banner. So looking good, Melvin. All right, let's move on to the headline. So headline, let's talk about what's going on the headline. And actually, I'm going to go back to my homepage to just show you a little demonstration of what's going on with the headline. So of course, we see Melvin's whole headline here. It starts out data analyst, and then he calls out the tools: Excel, SQL, Tableau, Python, PowerPoint. Also, he's got a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science / Information Technology. Amazing. I really love that, because, Melvin's coming to us and saying that he has a technical background, which is fantastic. Love a person with a technical background. And when I click into Melvin's profile, I see that this is like a first view item. So this is like one of the things that I see immediately at the top of his profile. And also, if I just go into, my feed here, and let's say I find a link, or I find a post, and then there are comments, these are the things that people see about you as well when you appear in the feed. So we can see this person. What we see about them is their picture, their name, and a certain amount of their headline. So this beginning part of your headline is your highest cost real estate that you have on your LinkedIn profile, because this is the only bit of information about you that people see when they're not on your profile. So you're commenting out there, you're putting your name out there, and people are going to see this about you and know immediately, hopefully, if you've really aligned yourself well to your search, what it is that you're doing right now or what you're going for. Okay, so I love that he led with this and tools. Fantastic. And like I said before, I like the bachelor's degree that's added there. I feel like if you're going for a job in data, I really like seeing, like, if you've got a degree in a STEM field, I love seeing that up here, because that just tells me, you've got stronger math skills than maybe a German major like me. So that's really helpful for me as a recruiter. All right, so now I'm going to go down to his about section. Having spent years in college working with data, solving problems, and applying mathematical concepts, I've decided to pursue my dream of becoming a data analyst. Since that decision, I've built a portfolio of data analysis projects that show my ability to transform messy data into actionable insights, analyze trends, and make data-driven decisions. My technical skill set includes proficiency in Excel, SQL, Tableau, Power BI, and Python. I also possess strong attention to detail, excellent teamwork capabilities, and practical verbal communication skills. If you wish to connect or discuss potential opportunities, please reach out. Okay, I love that it ends on a call to action there. Melvin comes across as very friendly and approachable. So, good. So Melvin, let's have a look at Melvin. So Melvin has graduated, and in the meantime, like in terms of his work experience, he's worked as a camp counselor. He's done an internship with Data in Motion. Shout out to Data in Motion. And he's also working part-time at McDonald's right now. So this is going to be, the next job that he lands is going to be his first full-time role as a data analyst, or, an adjacent job title. So that is really exciting for him. And with that in mind, let's have a look now at his about section. So from the about section, I can see that he is, quite new to his job search, hasn't probably landed his first full-time role yet, because he's discussing how he is pursuing his dream of becoming a data analyst. Okay, so this is something that's really personal about Melvin, and I feel like generally when I'm writing a LinkedIn profile, I feel like I really want to embody the thing that I'm going for and give them that. So I like to position myself as that and draw less attention to the fact that I just haven't landed that role yet. So instead of saying I'm pursuing my dream of becoming a data analyst, I am a data analyst. And I know that Melvin is, because I've seen some of his portfolio items and, on point. So I think that's the type of language that I would definitely prefer. Something that I love is that he talks about his technical set, and he's got his tools listed out here again. This is really great. If I had been, looking for a data analyst in New York, searching for SQL, Tableau, Python, Power BI, it's all there. So this is really great for keyword optimization. All right. And then when it comes to attention to detail, teamwork capabilities, and verbal communication skills, I feel like it's really great to say that. And so good, it's really great to say that. And I love to show it. For example, one thing that you could do is teamwork. And then you could write a colon and an example of when you use teamwork. You could do attention to detail, important in data, right? You got to clean that data, make sure it's on point before you start tossing analysis out there that are going to the CEO. So then colon, and then an example of attention to detail, for example. All right, I love that Melvin is posting. It's super important. He's doing a lot of reposting right now. That is amazing. Melvin, I would love to encourage you to repost with your thoughts. So write a little blurb about what you got out of the post that you're reposting here, and give a little bit more context to it. Of course, I don't want you spending a lot of time thinking about this. It's not going to be something that's It's not going to be the thing that makes or breaks your job search, but like Kadisha said, like there are so many different components, and like being findable, part of being findable and getting getting recognized by the algorithm is like putting out content, and the more that you do to enable that, the more likely you are to be found. All right. And let's talk about his experience. So, you might think that as a crew member at McDonald's, there's not a ton of stuff that you've done that's super related to data analysis. However, Melvin knows better. And Melvin has really had a look at what he does in his job, and he has honed in on the skills that he has and the things that he does at his job that relate to data analysis. So, first, he reduced drive-through waiting time by tracking order flow and identifying bottlenecks by using POS systems in a fast-paced environment. Awesome. Improved order accuracy by verifying customer inputs and maintaining structured data capture, ensuring high-quality transactional data. Okay, amazing. And he delivered clear and concise communication to resolve customer inquiries, contributing to improved service efficiency and consistent customer satisfaction metrics. Okay, so this tells me that Melvin has really reflected on the work that he does and is finding what out of those tasks are analytical and showcasing that. All right, I'm going to do just one more before we get some comments from Kadisha. As an intern working for Data in Motion. Oh, actually, so this we are positioning as a consultant. So we're going to want to get rid of the internship word here, because this was real work that you actually did for a company. So some of the bullets that he has here include increased LinkedIn post engagements by analyzing engagement versus impressions using Excel and Tableau, identifying high performing content patterns. Good. You're calling out the tools there. That's amazing. Delivered actionable insights to stakeholders through data storytelling and visualization, improving content strategy decisions and boosting audience interaction. Amazing. I think the only thing that I would maybe be able to improve about this bullet is put the impact first. So, of course, something that you delivered is impact, but this is what comes down to it. This is really at the root of the work, right? Improving content strategy decisions and boosting audience interaction. And then if you want to flip it around and really write that like XYZ format, and if you're here for the first time, that's accomplished X as measured by Y by doing Z. What you accomplish goes first. So that's improving content strategy decisions and boosting audience interaction by delivering actionable insights, etc. All right. And what he built, interactive Tableau dashboard to track marketing performance, enabling an improvement in engagement strategies. Okay, so overall, Melvin, thank you so much for your hard work on this profile. I really see an improvement here.
Okay, for me, light stuff. I would say for the banner, I like the banner. If we're gonna do, I think my only thing was, well, if we're going to have like the images on the bottom, I would just much rather they just blend with the background color. So I would just change the background color of the banner to white. And then you can change the like a background color of the profile to white so it's matching, and then like a small like gradient behind you of like blue. Other than that, that's really good. Then scrolling down to the about section, I would have just led more, just like how we want to like, just on top, like doubling down what you said about positioning as, what you'd want to do. Instead of leading with like having spent years in college, that's not something I would lead with. I would definitely lead with even I don't even see anything of the, the marketing analytic experience in here. So I would definitely lead with that instead of, when you say having spent years in college working with data, it sounds like you're still in college. So that's why I would just change the positioning to just lead more with the experience that you gained. That's just an example of just like when we position ourselves lower than where we are, which happens, subconsciously. Other than that, I pretty much agree with everything pretty much there. I think I would utilize the feature Remember, we all have the featured section in our profile. So it would usually be, I think, between about
Yeah,
and activity.
right here.
Yeah, and so you can use that, and that's like a visual thing. Maybe one of the examples we'll see here today will have them, but like, you can put your portfolio there. You can put like, projects on there, and it's like, was it 3, I believe, can show, and then you can have like
Mhm.
2 ones there. But yeah, I would definitely utilize the featured section. But other than that, yeah, everything is pretty much a-okay.
Awesome. All right. Well, that being said, Kadisha, do you want to give a first go at the next profile? You want to be the first to roast?
Okay.
Do you
All
want me
right.
to, do you want to control the screen?
Uh, sure.
Or I can do it if you
Yeah,
want.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Okay. Okay. University of Alabama is in the building. All right. All right. Number one, listen, where is the banner? Where is it? Come on. Even at minimum, man, we got to have, I don't like the generic, LinkedIn banners, but it's better than naked banners. So we gotta have the LinkedIn banner. That's a good photo, man. It's good smile. But we gotta have a banner. Um, Data scientists, business intelligence. We can have some keywords there. Good to have like an action or like a positioning statement, or in some just keywords of like the sequels, etc., and stuff like that. In the header. Um, but yeah, man, banner. I remember someone was saying, I don't know if it's still true. They're like, the time where people spend the most is looking at the banner. It was like out of 15 seconds. So the average time at the time, this was like, I don't know, 2024. I was told this. Uh People spend an average of 15 seconds on a LinkedIn profile, and half of it, 7.5 seconds, is on the banner. So yeah, that's why it's such a big. And then this is a first impression, right? This is a first impression. If you think about it, not even think about it, you can literally break down your banner has every section of your profile has a function, right? Just like our organs and stuff has a function, right? Our nervous system has a function. The endocrine system has a function. So the banner has a function. I like to call this, this could be like the above the fold, or I just like to call it the first impression. Exactly what we see. This has a function as well. So that's why it's like you really want to have a banner, because it's the first impression. Alrighty, let's scroll on down. Okay, about section. Experienced analytics specialist with demonstrated history of working in the financial services. Financial services? Why wasn't anything up there in the headline, right? Come on, I gotta scroll down to see it. Come on, come on. All right, skilled in data analytics, business analytics, data science, customer service. Look at all these keywords. Look at all this domain expertise that we got to scroll down to see. You got to put it up at the top. Strong engineering. Oh my goodness. Look at all these great keywords. We're just master of science in business analytics. Come on. All right. You got a whole lot going on here. We're just you gotta I gotta we gotta peel the onion to see what's going on here. You gotta come on. You got a lot to work with here, right? But you gotta put them out more, right? So this about section can definitely, like, underselling yourself 101. Underselling yourself 101. No recent post bot. Straight up. I'm just joking. But come on, we can have some recent posts. Reshares, likes. Just you can like anything. That's activity, right? Remember, if you like things, you show up on people's feed. It's all about being top of mind. All about being top of mind. And literally, most people on LinkedIn are lurkers, right? A lot of people that the manager or whatever, a lot of them are lurkers, and they will see on their feed Most of it's garbage, unfortunately, just because of how LinkedIn is. But they will see things that you like and repost. It's not just post. All right, let's go and see what this experience is looking like. All right. Consultant, freelance, co-organizer, Birmingham Data Science ML Meetup Group. Hey man, that's a big deal. 2 years and no details? Come on. Oh my gosh. Associate Data Integration Specialist. No details. Nothing. Analytics Intelligence Data Science Fellow. Oh, now there's all the bullets. Where are they for the other ones though? Come on. Underwriter for Wells Fargo. Okay. So we got so for me at the very minimum when it comes down to like the experience, I just say at the minimum, just copy and paste whatever's on your resume. I know for sure if the stuff above had stuff on your you like put whatever bullets on your resume at minimum, right? Then you can go back and optimize later, but at minimum, just copy and paste whatever is on your resume. Like if you would make a resume, like you have to make a resume right now, what bullets would you have? Just add those, but don't have nothing. Loss mitigation specialist and underwriter. Okay, so I'm seeing now a great domain expertise in the financial services, but I'm not seeing that on the profile. I'm risk analysis. I'm seeing a lot of really good in-demand keywords and just really good domain expertise that we gotta go way too deep into the treasure to find, right? So underselling yourself 101 here again. But this is a lot of usually there's some people that are like, oh man, I don't really have that much experience, and it's like they have to like be a bit more creative. There's a lot of great experience here, a lot of great experience, and so come on, this can be in no time. Okay, University of Alabama, that's a great network. And I'm telling you, we gotta get this LinkedIn profile up to snuff so we can be, doing some really good networking with the, Roll Tide network, because I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of data folks that went to that school. Oh wow, mortgage underwriter, man, so much good stuff going on here. What do you got, Emily?
Yeah, I just want to you can kind of mirror Kadisha 100%. Absolutely, we need a banner. It is a non-negotiable. And Wayman, there is so much you can be doing with this headline here. I would love to see you pull out some of that great stuff. You have a master's degree. Wow, and it's in analytics, right? Master of Science in Business Analytics. I would be putting that up here in the headline because right now I see a guy, data science, business intelligence, got a blank banner. This banner, like Kadisha mentioned, like this is your first impression. This is like 20% of the screen right now. Like 20% of the screen here is blank. So let's absolutely be doing that. I would love for you to completely overhaul your about section. I feel like we could boil down this about section into a few keywords, toss that up into the headline, and then from there we could really talk more about your motivation, what you love about data. I mean, Wayman, you're doing your master's degree, or you completed your master's degree in business intelligence, or business analytics. So I would love to see, what is some of your motivation around wanting to go into data. What do you love about it? What was that aha moment for you where you knew that like this was the field that you wanted to go into? Just make it a little bit more personal. And then another thing that Kadisha didn't mention is that over here, like I see a bunch of icons that are blank. So it's always great to be able to connect this to a company. It just makes it look more complete. Like Kadisha mentioned, like you might be a bot, right? I mean, this is a real concern these days. So let's make it as believable as possible. And if you were working as a freelancer, you, my friend who is listening out there, you have the power to create an icon. How do you do that? You might ask. You're going to go over here and you're going to go down, click on the 9 squares and then go down to create a company page. toss some kind of logo, like make a logo in Canva, whatever, toss it up there, make a very basic company page, and all of a sudden we're not so generic. All of a sudden, we're a data analytics consultant and we've got, some kind of brand behind us, even if it's just us, running a LLC with one person in it. That is like attractive, right? If I know that you put together an LLC, you've got your own clients, that tells me you've got something entrepreneurial going on. You're able to work with clients. You've probably been, worked across different industries. So, making that just a little more official, it's a component, like Kadisha said. It's just part of the equation that makes you look more polished. Absolutely. Co-organizer. This was a freelance position. I wonder if you. So what I'm concerned about your profile, Wayman, is that I don't see that you're an underwriter or that you worked as an underwriter for almost 5 years until I scroll all the way down here. And then to see your other banking experience, I have to click on more, where I see that you are a loss mitigation specialist / underwriter for almost 4 years. Like, we're just shy of 9 years of experience in the banking and financial services industry here that we're not seeing until we get to the absolute bottom. So, because this was like a freelance thing, I wonder if you could put that either just into the general text of your company as a freelance consultant. Maybe you can also, did you know that inside these experiences, you can also add media? So if you've got photos of yourself, talking, like holding the microphone in front of the group, that is something that you can post here. If there's a website you want to link to, you can post it down there. All of these things make you look more credible, more professional, and they are part of the equation. So I would combine those just because you were, because we want to see your financial experience, right? Then here, what's going on here? This is usually where the company shows up and we don't have it there. So that's just a question mark for me. So me looking at this with the recruiter's eye, if recruiters have question marks in their mind, next. If you give recruiters periods and exclamation points, they stay on your profile. If they look at your profile and they have a question, that's something that they're going to have to clear up with you. But because of the pile of applications that they have nowadays, friends, let's not give them question marks. We don't want to give them any motivation to move on to the next. Wells Fargo, super easy to connect yourself there. Go back and edit your experience section. Go down to Wells Fargo, click on that little pencil icon, and you'll be able to type in Wells Fargo and you'll get the icon up here. Make sure you do that for all of these. All right. And then I would also say you've got a lot of skills here, and I would probably want to just make sure that they're all relevant. Looks like they're all pretty good here. Banking, I see. Financial analysis. Okay. I haven't obviously run analysis of the types of jobs that you're interested in, but these all look really good. So that's my 2 cents. Shall we move on to Javana?
Oh, for sure. Let's go.
I kind of like that you did it first. Do you want to go first?
All right.
Awesome.
Okay. Great banner. The only thing is kind of same as last time. If we're gonna copy and paste these icons, I would just use a white background so that it just blends in. The only other option, if you ever want to do stuff like that, yeah, you can take away you can use like a transparent, like if you take it in Canva, for example, you can make it transparent, but then those like the green wouldn't really do well. Like those wouldn't be good for transparent either. So easiest is just to make the background white if we want to copy and paste these icons. I'm not too sure what the icon is on the right. There must be a new tool that or maybe I'm just not hip to what's but I'm not sure what that one on the right is. But nice. All right. Nice smile, great photo, professional, friendly, all of that stuff. Great. Now in terms of the headline, data analyst, Excel, Tableau, SQL, data viz, Alumna raw data to real world solutions. Excellent. It's got the data analyst number one, right, and it has the keywords number two, and it has a little. I always like to anything if a tweak I could probably make a more maybe personalized positioning statement a bit. Um, it's just that now it's just sometimes like that, like the raw data to real world, sometimes it's a little bit like overstated a bit much, especially when you're like looking at 1,000 profiles a day. All right, let's go down to the about section. Okay, healthcare and government organizations. Okay, I think one thing I want to add as far as the headline, if you have domain expertise, I would include that domain expertise in your headline. So data analyst, Excel, Tableau, think of that as like the minimum, but what's a differentiator, right? So, um, what is it that makes you you? And healthcare, government, that those I would definitely healthcare, right? Healthcare, I would definitely put that, make sure that is in your headline in some way, and then you can even add that into your public in your positioning statement. But I would say we can make this a must. Like make it a rule. If you have domain expertise, make sure that domain expertise is in your headline. We should not have to go down to the about section, or we should not have to go down to your experience to find out what your background or domain expertise is in. And that's completely fine too if you want to go like more generic or general stuff. It's not going to like limit you in sort of way. Um, but okay, so yeah, so I see healthcare and government orgs. I see policies. Um, it looks like a very good about section. To be honest, very very good logical frameworks. I'm just seeing like some really good keywords, coverage, overlap, all that stuff. Okay, reporting. Um, but yeah, and it sounds like it's positioned like this is what she's doing. Like this is what I'm doing already, right? So again, I help healthcare and government organizations improve operational performance by leveraging data analysis. That's actually a positioning statement there. That's great. That's a great. Again, I am. This is what I'm doing, right? Um, so yeah, yeah, very good about section. All right, let's scroll down. I have yet to see anyone utilize the featured section. We want to use a featured section, but okay, she's posting. Okay, so she's not a bot. So we've figured out she passed the is this person a bot test. Passed with flying colors. Amazing. Excellent. All right, let's go back on down. Okay. Caseworker, analyze. Okay, we got bullets. Okay. Conducted second. Yeah, okay, this is good. Qualitative and contextual analysis. Okay. Um, excellent there. And then we have Novian Health. We got patient services coordinator. We got bullets there. This is good. This is good stuff. Underwriting support intern. So again, this is good. This is good bullets here. So like it's really knocking out, and again, obviously you have this healthcare, really good substantial healthcare domain expertise. Definitely got to put that in the headline. I don't know what it is about, like, why do we want to like sometimes not have that in our like headlines or whatever, but we really need to have a differentiator and domain expertise. We got to put this up in our headline. But this is good. This is excellent. Excellent bullets. I don't know what's considered too many bullets when it comes down to the LinkedIn. But at least we got some stuff going on here. So if we scroll on down, okay, we got Winston-Salem State, excellent, BS in healthcare management. Okay, so this is, I mean, clear leader in the healthcare domain, and this should be like, you should see leader, healthcare analytics leader in the top. This is what we are. We're not just a data analyst. We don't just know Excel and Tableau. We are a leader in healthcare data analytics. We are a leader in healthcare, public, whatever it is, but like public, but that is what we are. That should be in the headline. What do you got, Emily?
Yep. Again, I am 100% on board with what you said, Kadisha. And like, I feel like, when it comes to this domain knowledge and this domain experience, when I was a recruiter, I always want to find the person who has the closest experience to the job that I'm hiring for. And that includes industry experience. So if I'm, hiring for a data analyst in the healthcare space, it is so much easier for me to find an employee or a candidate who has some background in healthcare, because it's going to be so much easier for them to understand the data that they're working with than somebody who has a background in manufacturing or finance, for example. So that domain knowledge is gold. And if I see data analyst, healthcare, almost for whatever I'm looking for, like that is 2 checks in your favor, my friend. And you can be leaning into that in your headline. And right here, you've got this image, and it's just like, it's a little generic, right? Like it's one of those images that you find on Canva. And instead of having like this iPhone here, what if we had like a, something that you find at the hospital, like let's say a stethoscope. I mean, that image really lends itself to healthcare. So that, or some like pharmaceuticals or whatever the case may be. I would love to see something like that for you there. Yeah, just really lean into that healthcare, because for you, Javon, it's really, really strong. And then also something that Kadisha mentioned is that like she doesn't know necessarily how many bullets to write, and like how much text in general to add to your LinkedIn profile, because yeah, of course you can add a lot. There are character limits as to like how much text you can actually add. I would shy away from like filling that out to its full extent, because we're optimizing for 2 things, right? We're optimizing for the recruiter who's like sourcing for candidates. And then on the other hand, we are optimizing for the human being who's going to at some point, be clicking into your LinkedIn profile to hopefully read and see a little bit more about you. So we want to find a happy medium there. And when I look at your about section, I feel like this length is amazing. We could make it even like a little bit more clear for the human by, adding some bullet points, just like to break up that block of text a little bit. Just makes it a little easier for the human, has no effect on the bot whatsoever. And then when it comes to bullets, I'd say best practice is like 3 to 5 bullets, per experience. And that, like this one for Novant Health, where it's broken into the two different sections. 3 to 5 in each of those positions is totally fine. So that'll be a total of, I don't know, let's say 6 to 10 is okay. And if like, let's say this was your first, this internship, let's say that maybe you didn't do so much, work there, was a short position or whatever, I feel comfortable with you just putting like, a couple of bullets there if that's, if that's what's most relevant. And then of course you got promoted to like a full-time position. They kept you on, which is really, is really points in your favor when it comes to the hiring game. We see that they loved you, they kept you on. And then here's where you can talk more about like the meat and potatoes of your full-time work. Yeah, I think that's kind of my take on that. And always, if there's stuff that you guys are doing, Kadisha mentioned the featured section, leverage that space. Really important real estate here as well, because it's like the featured section, it's going to have a graphic, like an image here. It's not just going to be like text or a little link. It's going to show up like a post. And actually, if you write a post, you can choose to present your post in the featured section. So you can feature posts, you can feature videos, you can feature graphics, just a link with like a thumbnail. So there are like a lot of different things that you can do there. And all of these things that you're doing are like pieces of the puzzle. They're that little extra component of your LinkedIn profile that makes you look more professional, more polished, and it's going to want to make that recruiter reach out to you. Because when I was a recruiter, nothing I love more than calling a person who knows what they are, who they are, and what they're here in the room for. And if I can see that clearly, like, I assume I'm going to have a great conversation with them. If I've got somebody that's got an incomplete profile, bits and pieces here or there, like, I really don't know what I'm getting. So put it out there, guys. It's all I can say. Click publish, click that post button as often as you can, and make it really painfully obvious to the reader who you are, what your skills are, and what your superpower is, let's say.
Just a slight question. How often do you think are recruiters scrolling through profiles on their phone? Because I wonder, is it important at all to optimize or even think about the optimization for mobile?
Yeah, so I think that when I recruited, I didn't even have the LinkedIn recruiter like functionality on my phone. That was like 6 years ago, so I don't know what that looks like today. I would assume that people who are a little bit that people who are a little bit more like the agencies might be doing that. But I feel like if you're corporate, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like if I say that right now, I definitely didn't do it. I didn't have it. Just like you have more functionality and ease of operability when you're on the desktop. So if I were working, I would always be using my computer for that. I'm sure that there are recruiters out there who do it on their phone. But that there is definitely something to be said for that too, especially when it comes to the banner, because that banner shrinks.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got text on that, think about, what that looks like on a mobile device.
Yeah, or just do a quick check yourself. Just check what your profile looks like on your phone, and just so it's always good to have it. I can already tell for Giovanna's, hers will most likely be good on mobile. Just putting it all on the right. But yeah, that was a good call out with the changing of the iPhone and stuff, just making it like a stethoscope or something.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
great. I would love to see that, Giovanna.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Any last minute questions before we close out the night? I don't know. This is a good roast. Well,
Yeah.
I feel like it was a good. I mean, I don't think it was a. These are some pretty good profiles. For the most part.
Oh, Susan has a good comment here in the chat.
This one.
So Susan, I didn't originally include the domain expertise either. After so long looking for something in healthcare, I'm at the point where I could take a data analyst in a new industry. It is there now. Susan, honestly, for you, I love the fact that it's there, because I feel like you also have a strong connection to the healthcare industry, and making that connection is going to be so important. A lot of times people want to, maybe they want to transition industries. They want to go into a new industry. And at that point, it's really important to emphasize the data skills that you have and see if there's any kind of transferable activities that you've had in the past. But there is so much need for people with domain knowledge, especially when it comes to healthcare. It is so hard to get somebody ramped up on healthcare knowledge. So if I were hiring for healthcare, 100%, I would be looking for somebody who's got some experience in the healthcare space. So if you're looking to move quickly and you are happy to stay in your industry, leverage healthcare. If you're wanting to pivot, first of all, I don't recommend doing 2 pivots at the same time. So, Kadisha at Data in Motion works with a lot of people who are pivoting into data. That is already a pivot. That is hard. If you also want to pivot industry, that is also hard. And if you have a data experience and you want to pivot from finance into healthcare, that's hard. So don't make it double hard on yourself. Pick one, do it. Then after that one pivot, do the next pivot, not 2 at the same time. You'll be in the job search for a long time.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys. It was a good, nice session. Hope we all got some good learning out of this. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Sounds good. Where can everybody find you? I guess we're on your page for the most part.
You can find me I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on YouTube. I am on Instagram. I'm also on the TikTok. But yeah, I am on all of those things. Where are you at?
I'm on all those things too. So you can find me on YouTube at Emily Talks Tech Jobs, also on Instagram, TikTok at Emily Talks Tech Jobs. And just if I may plug my podcast that I published last weekend, it was really a good one, guys. We talked a lot about LinkedIn, how to make yourself found, how to become findable to recruiters and sourcers out there. So check it out. And if you need support with your job search, feel free to hit me up, send me a message on one of those platforms, especially LinkedIn is where you'll find me the most. And we'll chat.
And you're on it. I don't even know my names on the other things. I need to
You'll find Kadisha.
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye, guys.